This is Miguel Johns, an entrepreneur who founded KingFit, a mobile app that focuses on health and diabetes education and motivation. This is Wayne Chambers, CEO of High Touch Technologies, a leading IT company based in Wichita but operating across the country.
Well, Miguel, nice to meet you again.
You
Congratulations on KingFit.
Thank you.
One of the things I've often wondered about your involvement in development of KingFit, what kind of difficulties did you run into, and where were they at in that development cycle, and kind of how you resolved those difficulties?
Yeah, the biggest first main obstacle was not being a developer, and so really not understanding what that process looked like. So for us at this time last year, it was, I had this vision of we want to do this and this and this, and I didn't understand that, one, it takes a long time to just do one of those things. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then two, what were those steps that we needed to take to get from point A to point B to point C? And so we eventually got around to the point where we understood that we needed to break the project into pieces, that it was going to cost money. And at that point it was, how do we determine if a development team is credible, if they're good enough, if they're going to work fast enough. So we were able to eventually get to the point where we had raised enough money and talked to enough people to find a master project manager here in Wichita. And he really took it under his wing to then outsource the right teams, lead that development, and deliver on a schedule for us. So that's been a huge blessing for us to get that done. But I've done zero of the development. I've actually just started taking coding classes in the evening, so I don't go through this again.
So how did you go about finding that first guy that really brought in? And I assume they come from Wichita.
Yep.
How did you end up finding that individual?
Yeah, so our project manager now, who's leading the development, was referred to us in two separate occasions by two separate board of advisors that we really respect. But before that, it was just networking, going to 1 Million Cups, E2E events, everything in the community, and just talking to people. Who are the developers? Who's got the talent? Who's interested in taking on projects? And but eventually it came from our board of advisors. They recommended the same guy, which was a light bulb for us to say, this is the guy we need to go for.
Must be the right person,
yeah.
Right? You know, High Touch is an older company. We've been around since 34 or 84, been about 34 years. Our genesis in development, we've, greatly improved our position in the community and the other things that we do, and have trouble with talent, finding talent, attracting talent, keeping talent. How do you guys, you had any problem with that? Or is the community really providing you what you need?
Yeah, so right now our team's small enough that we've been provided with a talent here, and a lot of our team I had previous relationships with, so half of the guys I grew up with, and then the other half has been through networking at events and just, hey, who have you talked to who's interested in the startup world and may not be the entrepreneur themselves but have a specific skill set. So for right now, we haven't had too many issues with it. I can see it getting a lot more difficult. And I'd love to hear some of your guys' experience there. You mentioned that you guys have trouble kind of doing that.
We do. And of course, with our company, we're in 6 markets. We're more in a global environment. So from our perspective, the type of talent we need to be competitive, if you will, is probably fairly high level. Then we have to have the talent that's sophisticated enough, and they may not be in Wichita, but they're sophisticated enough that we can get them engaged with the customer. You're probably on the beginning edge of that, hopefully. And we deal with a lot of customers that have been in that environment for many years. So our level of needs, sometimes we can't get in Wichita. We might get in a Dallas, we might get in a Denver or Kansas City or some other market like that where it's more readily available. You know, one of the things you would like, although most of our employees are in Wichita, you'd like for a high level expert, if you will, to move to Wichita from Dallas or from San Antonio or something like that. And usually not the case. So we try to make it where they have an environment they can work from, someplace that they enjoy working from, and still handle customers' problems. So.